Okay, so we are back, and today we have something a bit interesting, right? The part two banners are here, and surprisingly, I wasn't expecting this. We are actually going to be able to just use our 50 tickets right away on these banners. Now, these are some of the most unique banners we've ever seen in the game. I can't remember the last time a banner was just one character like this, in terms of like the banner art and stuff like that, but what I want to specifically talk about is what you should be doing with these tickets and what banners you should be prioritizing. Now, there is the obvious approach, and I think this is honestly probably the best way to go about this, and that is going to be just doing this chance right here. Now, it doesn't really say it in here on the front art, but if we go into the character summon rates, you guys can see where it says rarity and SSR and featured characters, it says 44%, and it's one character in total. So you have a 44% chance to pull a featured unit, and if you go into the featured unit tab, the only featured character here is the Rosé, for example. So you have a 44% chance of pulling Rosé, and then a 56% chance of pulling anything else. So when it comes to normal odds, that is very, very, very good if you are looking for the new character. Because if we go to the recommended tab and we look at the character summon rates, and we go to I guess we would do an SSR guaranteed summon, you guys can see the rate for a featured character is only 5%. So you are literally basically you are 9 times more likely to pull a featured character on this right here, right? And if it is a featured character that you get, it is a guarantee. So if you fuse, congratulations, you got the new character. If it's the Dokkan Festival banner, I think with these ones, it is a little trickier. With the carnivals, it's a little different, right? There's specific things that you need to be looking for, right? I think it's, I haven't figured out personally from my experience summoning. I just had a really bad summoning session. But specifically here, it's tough. So I just kind of want to make sure that you guys understand what's going on because it is a little bit confusing. So when it comes to what banners you should be summoning on, I think you should just take this 50-50 chance. It's essentially a 50-50, right? It's technically a 56-44. But a 44% chance to pull a character of this quality, I think, is smart. And I think it would be a little bit reckless to go in and do this right here with the 10 tickets, right? Not reckless, but I just think it just is not worth it, right? Because these are essentially just normal multis, but I don't know if I like normal multis. I think I would rather just leave it up to chance. Now, when it comes to which one you should be doing between the 4 characters, it's tricky, right? I think what it comes down to is what you're going to be summoning on. Now, I really wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't go for the part 1 characters. I just don't think they're nearly as exciting as the part 2 characters here with Gogeta and Omega. I think if you are going to choose between the Dokkan Fest, I'm probably going to go Omega, but I think if I were to do it, but I do understand that this blue Goku and Vegeta is not as exciting, but still a very high quality character with a very good leader skill. He's still very valuable. I think if you're a beginner player, I think just overall you would get more value out of using this Goku and Vegeta right here, because you just have more options with this leader skill, right? If we just pull this up really quickly, for those of you who may not know, you might be new, you just don't understand it, and I'm sorry if you do know, but Fused Fighter and Future Saga is a much more vast leader skill for characters you are more likely to have than what this Omega is bringing to the table. Now with Omega, we have Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, if I can pull this up, or GT bosses. So what character do you think you, the viewer, has more of, right? Fused Fighters and Future Saga, or Power Absorption and GT bosses? I'll give you a hint. If you're not summoning on the Part 2 banners, the answer is Fused Fighters and Future Saga. So just keep that in mind. I think it's very important for you to know that between the Dokkan Fests, that is probably the way I would go. I would lean more towards the blue Goku and Vegeta, but I would imagine because it was part 1 of a major celebration, GDC was extremely hype, even with the start, it was Vegito Blue. The characters were very good, or Vegito Blue, quote unquote. I'm sure most of you watching this probably summoned on those banners, and a portion of you also pulled him. So if it's just between the 2 part 2 characters, then I would go Gogeta just because I think you're going to have more fun using this character. I don't think his leader skill is necessarily better because it's only one category, but there's a good chance that that team is probably just going to be better. There's so much that still needs to happen between the easy A's, the super easy A's, right? Potential part 3 easy A's that we don't know about yet. There's a chance that we get like in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta easy A. I know I'm kind of coping right now, but that's not completely off the table. But for future Saga and stuff like that, like if we look over here, I think Vegeta and Trunks is also potentially an option for an easy A during part 3, because they just saved these super hype easy A's, excuse me, and I'm not really sure why. Because really, like, you'd think you'd want to capitalize on the hype and do that, but I don't think that is really the case that they did here. So it's tough, right? If I had to like rank them before we get into the summon, I know you're probably just like thinking like do the summon, but I am kind of like convincing myself like what I want to do. Now, just to kind of quickly speed run this, right? With 0 to Hero, the only character I'm missing right now is Omega. But the problem for me is if I pull Omega here, I can't go back into the banner because I already pulled Omega. So I'm thinking I want to avoid Omega, but I think if he's the only character left that you do not have, then that's probably the way that you want to go. And I'm sure that most of you are are going to be doing summons on the Gogeta 4 banner anyway. So it really does just kind of come down to a case-to-case scenario, and I think it is tough. But I think if I were to rank them, the first choice that I would do for tickets is probably Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because this will potentially save you the pain of having to go into a Carnival banner, which for me, it was more valuable on my main account, but the summons were not very fun. Like a lot of just LRs that were not good. I got like Tech Broly. I pulled the Gammas a few times. AGL Omega, I pulled a couple times, right? Like nothing that I was super excited about. But if I would have pulled them on the tickets, then it would have saved me the trouble of having to go into that banner. So I think that if you can just get like the most hyped character in the game and use him the way you want to, without having to spend any stones, that's probably the way that I would go. But I definitely understand if you want to just summon on that banner and use your tickets somewhere else. Now, when it comes to number 2, I would probably say it's this Blue Goku and Vegeta. This would be the second character I would recommend summoning on, because if you do get a featured character on this one, you are all like fine and dandy, right? Like you fuse on this, you got the new character, right? Because you don't have the chance of like an unfeatured LR popping up. So it's nice with this because the pool is a little more concise, and I think that this is still the best leader character of all 4 of the GDC units, just based on the overall scope of his categories, right? Like Fuse Fighters has basically all of the best characters in the game. You know, you have 10-year Gogeta, 10-year Vegito, you've got Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta himself, you've got him himself, so that's 5 characters right there. And then the 6th one is going to be a bit of a fill in the blank, just depending on what you may need, whether it be Tech Gogeta, Tech Gotenks, right? Why am I blanking on the other ones? We've got like STR Super Gogeta, Super Easy A, and then also like you have Future Saga, so you can run Rose Goku Black. You can run other characters like that. If Vegeta and Trunks get an Easy A, you can run you can run them in this, so or on that team. So I think overall that is where I would put this, the second ranked banner to use your tickets on. But I definitely understand if you already summoned, you could avoid that. But third, I would probably put third is tough. I have a live stream going right now. I'm gonna ask them. You guys can see it on the side. Would you rather use your tickets on Rose or Omega? I think I'm leaning Omega. Yeah. I don't know. That's tough. I want to hear your opinions too. That's Rose. Yeah, I guess Rose is more hype than Omega, huh? It's tough though. Yeah, because Super Bosses is better. Yeah, I think the chat's right here. But if you think it's Omega, let me know in the comment section below. I definitely see the vision, but I think if you're a newer player especially, Rose is a really good option. That's a good point, because he has a free-to-play clone team that is really, 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 really good. So third, yeah, no, not one person has said Omega. So I don't think the intuition of like the 10 people here, 10 lovely viewers, is too far off. So Rose, I would put at number 3, and then Omega, I would put at 4. I don't think that's my individual rankings for like the characters overall, like kit wise, but we're more of just talking about like what is going to be the most valuable character for your tickets. I think that's the answer. So with all that being said, I'm going to get greedy and go for a dupe on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Let's get it. Give me a Goku Black Rift. No Goku Black Rift. Vegeta, we got a full house. We are not fusing. This does not look good. I did lose my 50-50. I think we lost our 50-50 on both versions. We did. Dodoria. Okay, so lost the 50-50. It is what it is. But that is basically what you're going to have to do with your tickets. And with these over here, you're going to be able to do other stuff anyway. And there's more to get in here. So you might not have gotten at that time, but there is going to be another chance to get them. So just keep that in mind. The only reason I didn't do Omega is because I plan on going back in on that banner in a separate video and stuff like that. So let me know down below what you guys did with your tickets and all of that fun stuff in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.